All right. Right. Great. All right. Welcome, everyone. Excuse the mess in the back. Still putting things away from 4th of July. Have some folks in Zoom right now, and then some in YouTube. So great. So today's class, body tune-up class. Pretty much we're gonna be stretching from our chair, and then stretching, doing some stand-up stretches, some stretches on the floor, and then also using some foam rollers at the end. Okay. So should be about a 55-minute class. So let's go ahead and start our neck stretches. So just left to right, just kind of working our way down our body. And just winding down the week. Pretty busy week with the fourth. And this is the end of week 6 for us for our 10-week summer class. So 4 more weeks after this, and we get like about 2 week break, up and down. 2 week break, and then we start fall in late August. Up and down. And again, if anyone has any requests, any stretches you want to do, or muscle groups you want to focus on, just go ahead and leave it on the chat. So some neck circles. And we'll try to do about 45 minutes of stretches, and the last 10 minutes or so of foam rolling. Yep. I'm sorry?
You want that recorded?
The YouTube stream's recording it. Yeah. No, you're okay. Thank you. Switch. Yeah, the YouTube live stream, the quality's better on it, so that's a recording I'll be putting up. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hopefully you have a nice day ahead of you. All right, let's go ahead and sit on our left hand. Bring your right hand over. Allow that elbow to drop. So we're sitting on our hands so our torso doesn't lean. Yeah, so when I know I'm gonna have especially it's more often on the weekends where I know I'm gonna eat kind of rough or greasy, fatty, tasty in the evening. I make sure that I'm pretty good about what I eat um, during the day. So, for example, this morning um, I had 2 Greek yogurts, and then I did that run, and then came home and had. I didn't have time to make my breakfast sandwich. So I just made a sandwich with turkey breast, and I just ate that. It's quick, it's easy to eat, and yeah. So I'll kind of eat healthy-ish like that until dinner time, and then when it comes to dinner, I could, not stress so much about what I'm eating. But if I eat every meal without a care, and then that's kind of like when I start seeing. Let's go ahead and bring that head forward. That's where I start seeing, my weight kind of going up or not moving at all. So yeah, when you're trying to lose weight, it's obviously exercise is important, but what you eat is going to have more of an influence um, on your progress with your weight. Got that head a little bit more. All right, very good. Okay, let's go ahead and then just reach up towards the ceiling. Just push. Yeah, and even when I'm watching what I eat, it's on the days, I guess on the months where I'm trying to maintain weight or increase weight. The only thing that changes really is how much more carbs I eat. But and when I'm trying to lose weight, it's just reducing those carbs. But my fat and my protein, I guess consumption stays the same, pretty close to the same the whole year. But I like numbers, so I kind of track every food, every little grain of rice that goes into my body. I track. I have my little scale and I weigh it. Let's go ahead, working on the neck a little bit more. So kind of grab, take a fist from here in front of you, head down, and punch forward. Come back, and reset. We'll do 8 of those. So down, punch, reset, down, punch, reset, down, punch. About 3 or 4 more. Last one. Whew. All right, very good. Awesome. All right, so let's just continue with our stretches here. So let's bring that right arm across. Okay, let's switch. Ended up watching a couple interesting documentaries last night. There's one on this first date gone bad, becoming into a stalker type of thing. It was pretty wild. Um, the neat part about that one is there's an investigator in that documentary that was actually a guest speaker to one of my classes about 4 years ago. When I was during COVID, when I was studying cybersecurity. And so he came and talked to the class. And yesterday, when I was watching the documentary, I was like, that guy looks familiar. And sure enough, I went back to my notes, and yeah, he was a guest speaker to us about 3 or 4 years ago. It was pretty neat. So, bring the hand back, push down. Yeah, if you go on Netflix, I think there's you could also, the audio's in Spanish, but it's called like Love Stalker something. But it's on Netflix. It's a new one. So watch it. It's such a like mind twist. You're gonna be like, what the heck? Like, no way. So if you have 90 minutes to spare, it's worth the watch. You could put it on and while you're tidying up the house or cooking or anything. So let's switch. Yeah, and the second documentary, we're still going through it, but it's pretty bizarre. It was about this man um, was would go to sperm banks and donate his sperm, or he'd find mothers that just are looking for someone to help them out. And this guy, I guess there's restrictions on how many donations can be made because they don't want like you know a guy to be the biological father of like 100 kids, especially like in the same little town. Let's go ahead and then palms up, push down. So yeah. So long story short, this guy has over 1,000 um, kids, and yeah, in some countries the limit is 25, and he just like violated the rules. So he would hop country to country and had over 1,000. Yeah, and but yeah, I'm on episode two of 3 episodes, so I don't know what else is gonna happen. But the first documentary was a lot more interesting. Like that. Doesn't just seems like some crazy guy that you know he just wants to like have a bunch of children out there. He just keep his bloodline going. Palms down, then opposite chest.
I watched a really good documentary yesterday too that you might like. It's on crime and it's called The Levees of Monticello, and it's about the guy who bought Monticello from Thomas Jefferson,
Uh-huh.
and they lived there for 89 years, and nobody really talks about them. And they address in there the anti-Semitism that was involved in sort of hiding the fact that this is the guy who bought Monticello and restored it because it was really, I guess, run down and beat up. And
Yeah.
the caretaker had been storing cows in the basement.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah.
That's
And it was just really interesting. I really liked it. I liked the history of it, and it
Yeah.
also about the racism of all of the enslaved people that were used to do the remodeling and that sort of stuff. But I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting, and there was a white lady at the end, towards the end of it, who tried to force them to sell it because she didn't think a Jewish person should own it, which is just outrageous.
Mm.
But thankfully, he stood his guns and said, "No, you're
yeah.
not gonna force me to sell this after 89 years."
That's wild. Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to look that up.
Yeah, it was really good. The Levees of Monticello.
The Levees of Monticello. Okay.
It's on Crime.
Oh, Amazon. Oh, I heard Crime. I thought Crime
Oh,
was
no.
I was like, is that a new subscription channel? Crime? Just just serial killer documentaries or yeah, criminal documentaries. Okay, Prime. Yeah, I think my
That's
wife
how
has Prime.
cracking things are. I'm surprised there isn't a whole network for crime.
Yeah. That's no the I'm telling you the one I mentioned. I'm sure if you go to like what's trending in the U.S. on Netflix, it's and it's in all languages, so you could hear it in Spanish and French, whatever. And
Wow.
man, it was like my wife and I the whole time we're listening and observing and asking each other questions. And let's go here now. And yeah, and it just our assumptions were completely off. It's just like the way the documentary took a turn. And we're like, what? Like, yeah, it was just one of those like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie like Inception or Shutter Island, like some of those movies that just like have a huge twist at the end. Like that's what this one was like, and yeah, like it almost like I don't know if you've ever done this, but when the documentary ends and then you start researching everything, like oh, where are these people now? Like are they still in prison or did they pass or like that's kind of like how it took a turn for us. Let's go ahead and do our back stretch. So just rotate your back, legs facing forward. Yeah, so I find myself just going into a rabbit hole of research sometimes and looking up, even on like Google Earth, and seeing like, oh, like this is where this happened, and it's wild.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm laughing because I wanted to do that last night after watching.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering, is the actors Eugene Levy and Dan Levy? I'm wondering, are they related to the Levies that did such great work with the Monticello?
Yeah.
I didn't get that far to look them up, but
right. Yeah.
I wondered if.
And I recently started watching this sports like series on Netflix too. It's called Live to Drive or Drive to Live. or Drive to Survive, but it's pretty much on the Formula One racing vehicles. Let's go ahead and do hip openers. And these vehicles, I mean, I remember seeing those races on TV, and but not caring too much. And it's not like NASCAR where they're just doing circles. It's like more racetracks. And I had no idea about it until I watched this documentary series, and it's so intriguing. And a lot of it I could relate because there's like a head coach, and then there's a director, and then there's like the athletes, and there's a support system around it. And it's not just about um, who has the best driver, but who has the best mechanics and who has the best engineers. And it's very intriguing because everyone just points the finger at the driver. It's like, oh, the driver was terrible, but it's like, maybe the engineers had like a little faulty thing on the car. And there's 10 different teams, and like now I'm finding myself on my free time researching every team and what they're doing and who they're going to recruit. And I'm just like, oh man, like it's just very consuming, but it's interesting. And they have 20 races, 20 or 22 races around the world, and three of them are in the US. And there's one in Austin, Miami, and Vegas. So I really want to go to one of them now. Yeah.
Are those the ones where they race through the streets?
Yes, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
they did it last year in Vegas for the first time. Um, and let's go ahead and do our performance stretch. So yeah, unfortunately, the Vegas race is the same day as state championships, and I'm in Fresno. So I told my wife, I guess I'm gonna have to go to Miami. I'm gonna have to go to Austin. So I was like, so we'll see. Or I could go to Monaco. There's one in Monaco too. So.
There you go.
But this is you see the crowds there, and the fans. Let's push down, and it's a different type of crowd. It's definitely it's like a bougier crowd, like people with a lot of money. And yeah, I mean it's a very expensive sport. Sometimes it could be they're warming up the track, and the car slips on a puddle of water and hits the wall, and then there goes $5 million right there, just like that. It's crazy. Well, my I've done some off-road races with a friend in like the deserts and in Baja California, but I mean
I
the
was just asking if you'd ever been to the Baja 1000.
yeah, oh yeah, not the 1,000. That's the only one because it's also on the same weekend as the state championships.
Oh.
Yeah, for some it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's like the best events happen that weekend. And but yeah, but I've been to many of them. I've been to at least maybe like 6 or 7 races in Baja, and another like
Wow.
4 or 5 here. But the cars that we work on or work with, they're probably somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000, and they could be like a little 1965 Volkswagen Bug, but
Yeah.
the car itself is maybe $3,000, but every upgrade that goes into it turns into this $40,000 little Bug. And so that's what we worked with before. And but it's definitely not a $5 million car. And but at these races, the Baja ones, let's push down. Sometimes they like big companies like Monster or Red Bull, or some there's a family out in Arizona that has a bunch of gas stations. They have a team, and they have $500,000 truck, $600,000 truck. And some of these teams have their own helicopter following their truck as like, if something goes wrong, they have a helicopter coming down. Let's push down. Yeah, and yeah, it's like super 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 expensive hobby because like the winning prize for some of these races is like $10,000, for
Oh
the
my
winner. But like like to upgrade for the next race, you're gonna spend $50,000.
Yeah.
So like,
It's
they're
9,000.
yeah, they're definitely not doing it for the prize. It's so. But yeah, I think I have. Let me see one of my. Let's see. I have this is the Baja 500 medal. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, so this is if you're here. Yeah, so this is for one of the races that we finished, and yeah, so that was a really cool one. Let's lean back, recline, and extend. Yeah, so that was cool, and sometimes it's just for those super long races, it's just an accomplishment just to finish the race because
Yeah.
You're out there. I mean, it's literally a 500-mile race. Imagine going like the racetrack is from here to Fresno and back, and that's your racetrack,
And
and
off road.
and yeah, and maybe your team it's 10 guys, and there's like 10 of those guys have maybe three pickup trucks, and maybe like for instance like they'll tell us like, hey, can you go check the car at mile 70 and at mile 400? Okay, so we're at mile 70, and here comes the car. Nothing's wrong with it. Boom, and there, that's it. You know, and like nothing. We don't give them water or nothing. And then we go to mile 400, and they tell us like, hey, they should be there at like 2 in the morning. Okay, we're gonna be there at 2 a.m. And then yeah, we're there at 2 a.m. and nothing. And then we're there at 3 a.m. Nothing. And then we finally get a radio call. Hey, sorry, we had a broken chain here at mile 320. We'll be there in 2 hours. So and then sometimes they just never show up. They're like, hey, come get the tow truck because the car's not going anymore, and that's it. So probably I say a good like maybe 40% of the races that I've been to, it's been like that, where we're waiting for them and then the car just never shows because it just goes off a little dip or a small cliff, it flips over or something. It's just it's wild. So let's go with our hill raises.
I've driven one of those cars before in Baja, but
Yeah.
it wasn't during the race, and it involved tequila.
Okay. Yeah, it's those things are so fun. I mean, especially if you have a helmet and it's like you're getting on the road with the seatbelt. And
Yeah.
I remember my first one, I was in Barca, so let's go toes up now. And the guy was like, "Have you ever been in one of these?" And I was like, "Nope." He's like, "All right, hold on," and boom, just like took off.
Yeah.
It was so fun. But
Well, but I think about it now. I think, what's wrong with those idiots letting that young girl that was drinking tequila at a bar and letting you drive?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's it's so much more dangerous than like driving on the street too.
Yes.
So let's elevate our right leg. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I think like I said, most of the big races happen on very important weekends, with other things going on. So it's been a while. I don't know when it will be the next one maybe to go.
Have you ever watched any of the shows that are, I think they're on Prime, but Jeremy Clarkson, the British guy who does races like you're talking about,
Yeah,
but they're funny.
yeah. I used to watch it a lot in college. Yeah,
Oh.
they just like super comedic people, and then they try like creating these crazy cars, and it's fun stuff.
What I just watched, I thought it was new-ish in the last couple of years. It was him and two other guys, and each of them had a small car, and they had to go like across Siberia or something crazy. And when one guy breaks down, they just leave him.
Oh.
They take off.
Yeah.
Figure out how to fix his car and go.
Let's go ahead and grab a golf ball or a lacrosse ball. We're gonna roll out our arches. Okay, so I have a golf ball here, lacrosse ball. So the idea is behind this is to use the ball as like a foam roller. If you don't have a ball, what you could use is I've used a potato before. A potato worked for me, but I had to toss it because by the end of it, it was just kind of beat up. But if you don't, then what you could do is just kind of bring your toes towards your heels and just claw at the floor. But if you do have the ball, let's just go ahead and place it under our foot, right directly in our arch, and then let's just roll out.
I use the bar part of my hand weights.
Oh yeah, that could work too. Yeah. chilly enough this morning that I don't have to have my fan on. So, it's
Must be nice.
a nice morning.
It's going to be 114 here today.
Oh, where are you again?
Bakersfield,
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
yeah, brutal.
All right, let's find a spot that's a little tender and push down. 114.
What's the weather like down there?
I think I saw a high of like 87 or 88 here in Lakewood, by Long Beach. So, but we'll see because it's supposed to be a heat advisory from Thursday till Tuesday. Let's switch, just move a little bit more and then switch to the right side. Um, so with that being said, yeah, it's actually not too bad for us getting a big warning to watch it about heat. It's July, so I think, you know, I remember a few years ago some summers being just ridiculous, and like now I feel like we get like some ridiculous like weeks, but not like the whole summer. It's just like a few weeks, and which I don't mind because I'm not about the heat. All right, let's switch foot. Um, but I also feel like summers now are lingering into like October as well sometimes. So I feel like we get like still some hot days in October. Um, yeah, I used to just bring out the little kids pool out for a weekend or so, but I frequently just have it outside now because, um, yeah, I know it's gonna be a warm one, and feel like I'm gonna have a nice cooler, and I have all of our water guns and water balloons in there just ready to go and fill it up with
Nice.
water and just fill up the cooler because yeah, it gets hot. And Jillian's getting pretty good too at aiming now, so now it's actually fun. He's not just like throwing it. He's actually getting me now.
I love it.
And he'll go and like spray me, but as he's doing it, he's also biting down his teeth, which is really cute because he he's just like ah. So, all right, so we're good with these. We're gonna use our chair just for some mobility work. So what we're gonna do is have your chair, find a counter or a wall. So I'm gonna have this counter, and we're gonna go either over the top part of the chair or the lower part, depending how flexible you are. So just go over here and back. So we'll do about 10 forward and 10 back. Okay, once you've done 10, we'll switch sides. Last one. And, very good. As we're using this counter, what I want you to do is just place your forearm on the wall or on the counter, and then I want you to turn your torso away from it. So you should have a nice stretch. So right here, kind of just parallel to the wall, and I'm gonna keep that forearm glued there. Turn to the left, arm doesn't move, but now I'm getting a nice stretch from about my elbow running towards my chest. So I'm gonna hold it here. I have two laptops rolling right now, so excuse me for not moving them, but yeah, so hopefully you can get this visual here. Right, and then now, same idea, but now it's with our hand out and then turning away. Okay. It's another way to stretch your shoulder. Do we have anyone from the course in the YouTube live stream? If you do you mind sharing who you are? Yeah, so everyone on Zoom, I can see your name, but then if you're on YouTube, I'm just assuming it's someone from the class. Let's switch. So again, for forearm, place it here, and then turn to your right. So turn away from it. Right, and then now hand is extended, and I'm turning away as well. Very good. All right, little water break. So grab some water. All right. So I have about another 20, 25 minutes to go. Do a couple more stretches. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's get our yoga mats. Okay. So I'm gonna transition down to the floor. So yeah. So for next week, on what days was it? Next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're gonna have to do recordings, and then I'll send emails for the rest of the days. But pretty much Tuesday is gonna have to be at 7:30, and then I believe what other day was it? And then the rest of the week will be at 9 as usual. It's just these assignments I got assigned. So all right, we're gonna be here kneeling. So what I want you to do is bring your leg out, okay, and then we're gonna lean forward. Yeah, so I'll send recordings for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so we're here. Let's turn to our right, face the leg that's up, and then from there lean forward. Feel that in your hamstring. Let's switch. So we're here. Leg comes out, and then lean forward. Nice. Turn towards your leg that's lifted and lean forward. Very good. All right, let's get on our fours. We're gonna do cat-cow here. So in our fours, wrists right below the shoulders, knees right below your hips. Looking down, arch up, inhale, arch down, exhale. Repeat. Okay. Let's do two more of each. Okay. All right, from here, I want you to arch up, and then bring your glutes to your heels. Drop your elbows if you can, and rest here for about 30 seconds. And reset. Come back. All right. So now I'm gonna have you scoot over to your right. Okay. So now our legs didn't move, just our hands. So we're gonna arch up, and then again, same idea. Bring your glutes to your heels. Should be feeling this on your left back a little bit more. Your left side. For 10 more seconds. Reset. Right, now we're gonna just shuffle over to our left side. Right, once we're here, arch up, glutes back. Reset. And back here. Alrighty, so let's get on our backs. We're just gonna do a couple more stretches for our back, and then we'll go to foam rolling. So we're gonna do our knee drops, variated knee drops, and then our openers, hook openers. Okay, so here, arms like stretched out, sit up position, and we're just gonna drop your knees to the floor, left, and then right. Okay, so let's do 8 on each side. We have 3 more on each side. Okay, very good. Right, so next we're going to go ahead and do our variations of those. So for these, we're gonna do it more like a crunch. So our legs come up, and now we're gonna do 5 on each side. Okay, so control it, control, 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 and then control the other side. And then that's 1 on both sides. We're doing 5 on each side. Three, 4, 4, and 5, and 5. Very good. All right, we're gonna go with our book openers. One of my go-to stretches whenever my back feels tight. Sometimes do these before I even get out of bed. So stack the hands, feet are stacked, knees are stacked, hips are stacked, and I'm just gonna follow my top hand back. And reset. So we're gonna do 8 on each side. Just follow with your eyes, follow your hand all the way as far back as you can. Great. All right. The last stretch before we foam roll. Switch sides. So same thing, just doing the opposite side. Yeah. These used to be very, I would feel every little movement like it's a big stretch, but I think I've just gotten flexible over the years of doing these. So like now it's developed that range of motion where I could drop my hand behind my back pretty easily now. But there's some weeks or we don't have this class for a semester because there's some semesters where we're just focusing on balance, not so much range of motion. So in those terms, I can notice that my range of motion for this movement kind of slows down a little bit. 2 more. That's 1. Great. All right. So this is just the part where we need our foam rollers. So if you don't have a foam roller, you might be a little bit out of luck, or you could continue with some stretches as we finish off here. But if you do have it, let's go ahead and start with our first one, which is going to be on the one where we sit near the edge and then recline back. So yeah, just going to sit near the edge and then recline back and then palms up right here, and then we're just going to hang out for about 2 minutes, okay? Just kind of relax. Breathe. I got another minute. Alright, and gently just roll off to one of the sides. Alright. So I always like starting off with my calves with both legs on them. So again, just somewhere in the middle of my calves. And then just kind of rolling back and forth. There's some days where after a hard workout or after running, or like the first run after not running for a while, my calves get really tight. So this is really painful right here. But if you don't feel this too much, what you could do is just stack. You just focus on that bottom leg, and that's the one that's getting most of the, all of the pressure. And as I'm doing this, I'm rotating my toes towards the garage door to my right, and then also towards the camera in front of me. Just getting every angle of that calf muscle. Okay, and then I'm going to switch. I'm just going to stack the other leg on it. Is this painful for anyone? Or too much pain? And if you want more, you're going to go back to that original spot and then almost get on a plank. And it can be a little bit more challenging. You could use your other hand, but that's going to apply a whole lot of pressure. Okay, and if that's too much pressure, then just reset and go to the one that's comfortable for you. You could just raise your, as long as your hips are elevated, then that pressure point is really being targeted by the foam roller. You can go a little bit higher now. So now towards the hamstrings, now we're just kind of rolling. Right, I'm gonna get on my side, so more like a side plank, and then work on the lateral side of my left leg. Okay, so only my left leg is touching. This leg is just keeping me up. It's not making contact with the roller. I'm just rolling as far as I can. Before I move to the next leg, I'm just gonna work on that left glute too. So I'm just gonna be on my side, and then this one, you kind of just have to maneuver your legs, your glutes, where it's getting a good spot. You don't want to just hit bone. That's not what foam rolling is. So just make sure that you're rotating your leg and moving back and forth in a manner that is targeting that muscle. So, see, okay, I didn't know. Well, I think this left glute has actually been acting up a little bit. So I'm like, actually, this is probably the most uh, painful from all the rolling that we've done so far. Right here. I started feeling it recently, but not too worried about it, but I also don't want to ignore it. Okay. So I'm gonna focus on that leg now. So right here. A little bit higher. Focus on my glute now. All right, so now we're gonna lay face down and put that right on your thighs. And we're just gonna roll on that. So then this is more for your quads, the front part of your thighs. So we're just right here on the floating plank. This one's painful. Alrighty. And like I said, this foam roller, you're probably gonna have the best luck to use an item like this for that lane on one on your back, and then also for your legs. You could make an attempt and put this up against the wall, and then just kind of almost like a bear scratches a tree, do that motion. But for that, I almost would suggest just kind of if you could get a partner to just like rub whatever tension you have there, you can do that, or something that you can do as well. That I've done when I've had really tight um, a neck or shoulders. What I would do is imagine this is a wall next to like a door frame. So what I would put is just put this ball near the frame of the door, and then target my shoulder here, and then just kind of rub up on it like so. Okay, if that makes sense. Or you could just put that up against the wall, and you could just rub up on that. I feel like a larger ball, like a lacrosse ball or a softball, you're gonna have a little bit more success with something that's on your back or your shoulders, maybe even your neck, than a foam roller like that. But yeah. So, anyways, that should do it for today. Um, Thank you for joining. It's Saturday morning. Do we have any questions before we head out? Okay, if it's warm out there, well, it is going to be warm, so just make sure. Hey, Ella. All right. I was like, who's on the YouTube stream? So, all right, at least I know Ella was in there. So, hope you have a good day, Ella. Everyone else, enjoy your Saturday. And then,
Question.
yes.
Question. I'm a little confused between the YouTube and this one. You get the credit anyway.
Yeah. So to access both links, you have to go into Canvas, and that's what gives you credit, pretty much. So as long as you go into the Canvas shell, that's what kind of is counting your time as you're in the Canvas shell. So yeah. So either one works.
And then I have to sign in YouTube.
No. No, so like how I put two links today. So there's the link for YouTube, and then there's the link for Zoom. So to be like the differences is the YouTube link is you won't be able to communicate via camera. Like I can't see you. Like I can't see Ella. Like I just know Ella was in there because she typed it in on the chat. But what Ella's benefiting is her video quality is a little bit higher. And then, but if you're in Zoom, then we could have these more personal conversations, I guess. But both of them are within Canvas, so you're getting credit. Yeah.
Okay, I stay with Zoom.
Yeah. That's totally fine. Yeah. But yeah, and then I'm gonna put the recordings from YouTube on the Canvas course. Yeah, just because the video quality is higher. So yeah, like I was looking back at some videos and I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's so grainy and stuff. So that's why I decided to go with this other one. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Watch the documentaries if you have time. All right, folks. Take
See
care.
you on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep. Tuesday's the next live session.
Bye.
All right, folks. Take care.